Good morning, and this is your crypto day morning. Today's date is in that of Wednesday, the 28th of November, 2018. All bets, trades, and of the like within its own risk, their own reward. For myself, risk reward management is always job number one. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Verge is having a decent move right now. I want to talk a little bit about DGB and VeChain, but really VeChain for the perspective of trading strategy using a spreadsheet. What I did is I just played around just a few minutes ago and just one represented buy, two represented sell, and I just how the results would play out. I'll go through them, and well, later today, most likely I'm going to make another buy low, sell high video, but I'm just going to finish off that video that way. So as far as Bitcoin is concerned, the price action today is up right now, close to 10% in at 9 3/4. $4,138 is the price right now, and well below the 18 it left that on November the 14th. So it's been 2 weeks with price rapidly staying and going well below the 18 average of low. So it's having its first correctionary test on this steadily declining move. The 18 average of highs is in at, let me just scroll it so I can read it. It's in at 4,679. So even if the market goes up another 500 points, like 11%, 12%, I'm going to be like, okay, we'll see, because it's going to be very, very hard to trust these rallies. But it's not an uncommon thing for these down moves to have plays where it just has a quick move from below the 18 average of lows right to the 18 average of highs in just a fast period of time. So it wouldn't surprise me if this rally that's happening this morning does continue on moving forward. Let's shorten this out to amongst the 3-hour time frame. And amongst such, we can see what I consider that as a double bottom, 2U's, 2V type shape formations. And that would be displayed in here, which has the neckline pretty much barely above it now. And the neckline's up roughly around 4,100. And it's made a move right now to this previous level of resistance, or support rather, which has been resistance. It did so at 1,600 hours, 2,200 hours, a few days ago in here. So therefore the pullback, but this pullback was a matching low to this one. That's what's needed for a double bottom. And to make this a bullish setup, because it didn't make a lower high, it has made that of a matching high. Well, that's progression along the way. As far as this is concerned, yeah, this gives us more reason to say, yeah, this could very easily come up, maybe test within this 4,600, and it's going to be one of those now what situations. How are you going to react from that? Are you going to explode further higher, deep sell-off, short sell-off, all of those types of questions within the now what question mark, as I like to refer to such as. Within the single hour time frame, I wanted to make this bet last night, and I'd be doing so well, because when you look at this via the 18 average and what was going on, we can see from this point in here, 1,600 hours, price action make a statement getting above the 18 average of high, breaking above what short-term resistance it had at around 3,750. And then it had about half a dozen periods or hours, 6 hours or so, of establishing a bigger level of resistance at 3,830. And so having a lot of strength amongst the 18 average of highs. Nice little uptrend as was going on in the case. To me, I look at it as in, okay, there's two ways of playing it. One, you just buy in this area in here and just hope it works out. In this case, it would. You'd be selling now. Two, when it breaks this resistance, so roughly somewhere around here, you just go long. And in this case, again, this one would have worked out. Had I make a bet like that, I would be looking to sell chunks. So I would have sold some of my position, as I would have sold a little bit up here, missed on buybacks, because if I was selling at 4,012 and I'm looking to keep the run going, I'd probably look to buy at the 18 lows. So no buyback. So I'd be selling again. Now I'd be looking to buy back somewhere in this previous congestion area at 4,000. Maybe, probably, either way. The bottom line is buying at this in this area would have worked out. Buying on a break of resistance did. But when you talk about buying on a break of those levels of resistance, you can see just how fast these moves can come into place. As within this, let's draw a line in here for resistance level, pretty much in there. And even this level of resistance we can see is where it really got above. Take a look at this on the 1 minute time frame. This little move in here at 749, really even just at 754, going from 4,020 to 4,150. That's a gain of like 3% in like 4 or 5 minutes. You do it over a cup of coffee kind of deal. And then the earlier move that took place last night, if you're trading this waiting for a break of resistance, we can see just how fast. Okay, well, here's a spot. Now you got the alert. If you're buying waiting for the comeback, you had some time there. If you had a buy order in at that line, say, you would have missed it. And then look at how fast you got to be as this thing goes from 38.90 or 3900 to like 39.74 in like a couple 3 minutes. So these markets do move very, very quickly. And as far as the overall situation within this market, the way I look at it is this. The move lower, yes, it's reduced my net portfolio value, but it's also opened up volatility, which is what I'm looking for in the market for trading. And I realize these moves do happen. Am I hoping this market goes down to 3,000? I got mixed reactions to such, because if it bottoms now and it just goes higher, then it's going to suck to have an okay sized buy order ready to go that would not hit. And me only taking about 7, 8%, 10% recently of my TUSD I've sold in the last few days. So I haven't liquidated or distributed much of my true US dollars. I haven't distributed much of it. But my portfolio would be so amazing if the price action were to go very, very high from here. So yeah, that would be cool. If the price action goes to 3,000, then I'm going to get a whole bunch of Bitcoin that I can use to buy order or sell orders up here. Or I could use it for buying other coins, and I can, well, that would basically be it. But then I'd be like, okay, I still will always have in the back of my mind, I know this is a good strategy. I'm very confident with my strategy, and I'm very confident the market's going to at least hold up for one outstanding leg higher, breaking out past this point. But there's always that it might not, which is why throughout this up move I was buying. If you went through a lot of my videos, I talked about, yep, I bought some silver here, bought some silver again. Oh, it's been 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I bought again in the just in case scenario. Because if it does it again with big moves above the 18 average of highs like this, yeah, I'll be putting a video saying, yeah, I bought some silver and bought some gold and so on and so forth. So that's a Bitcoin analysis. Spending 8 minutes on such, so I'll try to go a little quickly but efficiently through the rest. Verge is next, and I haven't looked much at the chart, but I've had a sell order hit. Price action among such is in at that of 194. And what have we seen? Big moves. I mean, you just can't help but not notice the price action going from 60 to 1900. That's better than a 30x move, and in a very, very quick period of time. And then the decline just massive from the April Fool's rally, 1400 to 195, making Doug Polk, who does crypto videos, a genius when he really bad listed this coin. And it's gotten its ass kicked. Question is, will this coin survive? Will there be situations where Bitcoin goes up and many of the altcoins go down, but some coins that are true shit coins are going to get their asses kicked and then decline within the market? That's definitely something possible. But there's going to be wild swings. Question is, there's been a statement today. Will there be one so here? Price action from the last time leaving the 18 was higher than where it's been so far at about 220, but it fell from 220 down to 140. And of course it's fallen a lot more obviously as well, but it's gotten above this point, 18 starting to move. So when you see a move like this, I always want to see it hold and stay above this 18 average. That's going to be very, very important within the single hour time frame. Big volume here, so this could easily be that of a top formation. We could have big volume continue and larger volume come through with higher moves. So it's tough to say just because this volume looks so big on a move like this doesn't mean that that's going to be it and it's a top, although it technically could be. Volume, though, when you have these big moves, it's just normal to have such a degree, and it's just so impossible to tell when looking at this how this story is going to transpire. Will we have top in this area and come back down to the 18, and then who knows if it's going to be a successful correction or there then after that? Is this going to continue throughout the day and go up to like 240, 250, 260, even higher? Definitely more. It's not that big of a surprise for this to have a 30, 40, 50% move in the next day or two. Compared to before, it would have been much less likely because it's already made that statement of such a large move. So we'll see how this works out. We'll look next at DGB. And it too is also making that same similar statement. From the April Fool's high, it had an extra awesome move for traders like myself because buys down here, sells up here, but it's given everything and a bit more back from its June lows. Big volatility, 680 down to 265. Better than losing half of its value in just a couple of months, 3 months or so, 5, 6, 7 months, however. But this is the first time it's had a noticeable scream at you statement above the 18 average, sort of like we were seeing in Ripple. So it's going to be very, very important within this market to hold some of these previous levels of resistance. In particular, right now I'm looking at a range between 280 to about 300 right now where I like to see it hold, but 288. As this is playing out, look at the 18, look at the price action. How does the story work out? Because this thing has been on a non-stop tear from the 270 level. It's still a little overextended, and the 18 average has went from going in a nice uptrend to sideways. So it's gotten a lot more neutral amongst an amazing up move type of situation. It didn't really break much above this level of resistance, but it has also held this level of support as well. And just in the current hour as it plays out, it has made a very big short-term statement by getting up to this 18 average of highs, pretty much to this level. You can see like another double bottom formation that the short-term time frame probably be able to indicate very well, and so it goes. There's a neckline at 330, which is exactly where the price is now. The bottom at 319. So if this thing can get above like 333, 334, and then maybe it can have another move and get another just get above the 340 resistance and make one more leg higher if something like that were to occur. Now let's take a look at a market like so many other altcoins down very much so, and that of VeChain. And what I have is a whole bunch of lines because what I was doing was just quickly playing the game of buy low, sell high. What I would do is I would start pretty much the early beginning, 259 Satoshi price, 1 representing a buy, 2 representing a sell, and as it would lie to 120. So this is a market that from the start is down more than half of its value, at least from down in here. So I'm going to remove these lines. They're not needed anymore. I mean, the market's just in a down move. If you think it's going to have... If I were to enter into any type of position and I'm like, oh, you want to get into VeChain, is this a time I would enter? And the answer is yes. Because it's down quite a bit. There's a lot of up room left. And within this strategy, if I happen to have to buy in another leg lower, so be it. But again, what I did is I started off, and I put like sell and buy orders just back and forth. But what I've done is made a spreadsheet. And I copied and pasted these numbers from here into columns A and B. And how I made this spreadsheet, column D was this number divided by 100 million to put it into a Satoshi number. In here, I'm going to show you the formulas in here. 1 divided by D3, because that's how many I would need to buy 1 Bitcoin worth. And then the cost, well, I'm putting 0.1% rake. So the cost would be 1.001. So within the spreadsheet, I would put ownership. Ownership is equal to this number of here. And then from that point on, with this, it'll be equals this number plus the buy, subtract the sell. So now what I got is the value here. Now I want this to always be worth 1 Bitcoin after each trade. So in a situation like this, if I had a seller at 274, I would sell 0.0579 worth. As I have in here, equals if. If this number is greater than 1, then I want 1 subtract that number. And then in here, I'll take that number divided by the price and then multiply 1.001 for rake for how much I would sell. On the buy, I'm asking, is this number less than 1? And if so, I want 1 subtract the number, as we can see within these buys in here, and then calculating amongst such. As far as how this would play out as net results is concerned, the market is down, and it's a great strategy playing this. But if market goes straight down, there's no doubt about it, you're going to end up losing. There is ultimately risk within this strategy. And then of course Bitcoin has been going down, so how much your down goes even further priced in Bitcoin dollars. But when markets go up, you can see your portfolio go up against Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin goes up against the dollar, and you can be raking in large profits. We'll talk more about that later on, and I already have many times before. But within this, what I've done is net Bitcoin. So it starts off at the buy. So what I do to calculate this is I take this number here, which started off with the first buy. I add any sale receives, and I subtract any costs. My portfolio after a trade's always going to be worth 1. So I'm taking this number and I am adding 1 to get the net value of how much I'd be up or down. Hodling, which is just the value of 386,100 of these coins. That's all that is. To see if you are over or underperforming a base market. Well, it's not good. You're down, of course. You would be down negative 0.42 after a little while being up. We can see you'd be at 0.32 on this. We're holding on. This got to break even. I made a chart. So as we can see in here that within the move down, this strategy has unlimited liability in the sense that you just, as long as it keeps going lower, you're just going to keep buying, and you can start with 1 Bitcoin and be down 5 if the thing gets its ass kicked. But as we can see, as the markets go up, the value works out spectacularly well. But during these down moves, this thing could go down just a little bit more. This blue line would cross the orange line, which is that of just holding on. So I'm going to do this with, I'm not too sure what chart yet. I'll figure that out throughout the day. If you have any suggestions, you can let me know. And thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.